It's Derby time in Louisville, Kentucky's favorite time of the year. The big question on everybody's mind is, who will win that first Saturday in May? Well, we can't guarantee an answer to that question, but we will answer a lot of others. On this Wave 3 News special Derby Week edition, have you ever wondered? Hi everybody and happy Derby Week. I'm Kevin Harned here at Churchill Downs with a list of big questions that all begin with the phrase, have you ever wondered? Have you ever wondered how the solid gold Kentucky Derby trophy is made? I'll take you hundreds of miles away where the artisans are doing it all by hand. Plus, ever wondered about the best and worst weather years for the Derby? I'll give you the history on that. And have you ever wondered who takes care of the horse's teeth? We'll get that answer, you guessed it, right from the horse's mouth.
You see how round that tooth is?
Yeah. And of course, I'll find my way to the kitchen at Churchill Downs. Chef, you know what that tastes like? To see the secrets to preparing Derby meals for hundreds of thousands of people.
It's really easy to do when you know the secret.
But we begin with the horses that race on that first Saturday in May and how they all get here. Derby weekend at Churchill Downs attracts the greatest thoroughbreds in the world. We all know that. But have you ever wondered how they get here? Back in the day, it was by truck. Later, by rail. Nowadays, it's a whole new story. When the world's top horses come from afar, they fly first class. There's no white tablecloth or champagne included, just hay and water. This 727 is a luxury liner for thoroughbreds. Call it Air Horse One. Operated by the H.E. Tech Sutton Forwarding Company out of Lexington. Busy this time of year, flying coast to coast and into Kentucky.
Last year we flew about 600 head in and out of Lexington and Louisville.
The plane is literally a flying barn with stalls that are built and broken down 3 by 3. It's pricey.
It is a little more expensive than your regular passenger ticket.
One ticket tops $4,000 and it goes up from there. Like for this mare, traveling with her foal, too young to be left home alone. They ride up front, right behind the cockpit. So if you've ever wondered how the greatest horses in the world get to Louisville, now you know. They fly first class, and just like they do on the track, it's always non-stop. As hundreds of horses make their way to Churchill Downs, so do hundreds of thousands of people. And the biggest winners might just be the people who give them their places to park. No matter how you do the math, Kentucky Derby weekend equals big money. Stacks of cash. Some getting it by getting to the winner's circle, others by just guessing who will get there and dropping a dime at the wagering window. There's also a lot of cash to be made off track.
It is pretty big money.
Parking. For those lucky enough to be neighbors with Churchill Downs, green grass equals cold cash.
Need to park?
We are getting $50 per space.
Lawns become parking lots, and prices are at a premium on Derby weekend.
RV or limo, price goes up because you're taking up more real estate, so we have to charge accordingly. $125 and $150 depending on the size.
Parking.
Brad Gunter has been in the Derby week parking business since Fusaichi Pegasus won the Roses, way back in 2000.
I have parked limos and I've parked buses. I've had people all over the world come park with me.
He even buys out his neighbors' yards to maximize his inventory.
About 6 yards now, including my own, just continues to grow.
Park.
So if you've ever wondered the surest bet at the track on Derby Day, it might just be owning a small tract of land, just off track.
Every year I know I'm going to come out on top. I'm going to come out ahead.
Parking.
There are lots of big prizes on Derby Day. None quite like the trophy the winner gets, however. In fact, unlike most sports, it's unique, one of a kind, solid gold, and so is its history. The design of the cup as we know it today dates all the way back to 1925.
Range, you have to make them by hand, you know.
And oh, if all those trophies could talk.
Oh!
Ross Blackington's company began making the cups back in 1975. He hired his friend Walter Vigos to be the silversmith.
He said, why don't we make it solid gold? I said, they don't know, they won't allow that. You know, it's a lot of gold.
These are the guys who in the year 2000 decided to turn the horseshoe right side up.
That's the way it was when we started, pointing down. So Ross and I talked about it. We knew that it should be the other way around because your luck is flowing out.
They also made the horse on top look more like a thoroughbred than it did before.
They said, we want to make a change if you're going to do that. This horse looks like a harness racing horse. It doesn't look like a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
And I said, what does a thoroughbred look like? And they said, it has longer legs, it has a longer neck and so forth. And they kind of gave me a picture, and so we did some back and forth conversations, and that's it, go ahead and do it. Yeah. So we did it, and so now we have a 7-ounce horse.
Not much else about the cup has changed over the years, except for maybe the security around it.
A lot of times, truthfully, I kept it next to my bed. Yeah, I did. Besides that time in the stove, you know, I did that. So.
These days, the cup travels under tighter guard, too.
And when we left it, we took a plane out of Boston, but it got bypassed. We couldn't go in, so they took us to Chicago. So we had a long wait, 3-hour wait. We looked up and said, oh, flight so-and-so is about to leave. We had 15 minutes to get down there. We were running, and I said, Walter, he didn't have the trophy. I said, my God, we left the trophy back there where we were at. So we run back. Thank God the trophy was still there. Yeah. And the stewardess is very nice. They kept it. We're waiting for you. So we finally got in there. And, oh, boy, I said my Hail Marys at that time. I said, well, Walter, we got to shape up.
In the new millennium, the trophy gets the white glove treatment all the way. Never to be touched by human hands until it reaches the winner's circle on Derby Day. That wasn't the case in the early days.
Matter of fact, the very first time we made it, I was a member of this country club up in Plainville, Mass, called Henley Hill.
Boy.
And I said, I'm going to take this up to the guys.
Gee.
So I took the trophy up there. I said, Fred, fill this up with beer.
Yeah.
So we all took a sip out of it. And that was the last time but we were a little crazy then.
Have you ever wondered how they make the Derby trophy? That is awesome. You'll see how and meet the husband and wife team who does it coming up. And next, I'll try my hand at thoroughbred dentistry.
Where they can grind the food a little better.
Have you ever wondered what goes into that?
All the way back.
That and much more as we continue this Derby Week edition of Have You Ever Wondered? Kevin Harned with you again at Churchill Downs. We're just in a matter of days, a new champion will be crowned. So trainers are making sure the top contenders are in their best possible health, from their heads to their hooves. A racehorse is made up of a lot of moving parts, and every one of them is critical, from the hooves all the way to the teeth. Enter Kevin Worth, horse dentist.
Or equine dentistry is what we call it.
Have you ever wondered what that job would be like?
They lose these two.
It's a trait of its own that's very difficult to do.
You can see this is a baby tooth.
I found out right from the horse's mouth.
Check all his incisor caps.
I called up with Kevin on the backside, taking care of one of his many clients.
I do approximately 1,700 horses a year. And I can't tell you when something's bothering them, you know, so that's why the importance of the routine checkups. We work on them close to 4 times a year.
And it turns out Kevin is actually a former jockey.
You've ridden in the Kentucky Derby, 1981.
Yes, sir. It was one of the greatest things that I, could ever went through in my lifetime, as many ventures as I've been to, so.
Now he has his hands in equine dentistry. literally.
They don't have enamel like we do, so I go in and their teeth are offset. So we go in and take that edge off and keep them from cutting their cheek lines and helping them grind where they can grind their food a little better. These are predominantly to pull wolf teeth. I'll go in and elevate the gum line a little bit behind it, and then I'll come back with this tool and bring it right up.
I can't imagine that a horse just lets you do that.
I do 98% of my horses naturally. I don't get bit quite as often now. Every once in a while I get pinched a little bit, and it hurts, you know. A lot of neosporin, I know that.
It's jaw-dropping to watch Kevin put a horse at ease the way he does.
Like this. And you can see I'm going all the way back, and we got it. This tooth was loose up there, and I can come out with my hand. Just take it out very simply with my hand.
Whether he's pulling teeth or smoothing them out by filing them down,
That tooth has to be the same length on both sides.
he makes it look easy. Maybe too easy.
Now I'll take your thumb and go over top of this tooth. You see how round that tooth is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I believed him when I said he won't bite you. Oh yeah, here's my hand. From mouths on the backside to feeding the mouths on the front side, have you ever wondered what it takes to feed the hundreds of thousands of people who pour into Churchill Downs Derby Week? For Churchill Downs executive chef David Danielson, the greatest 2 minutes in sports makes for the most exciting 2 days in the kitchen. It takes forklifts to just carry all the forks.
There. I'm going to bring the 6 here. We'll place them.
Pallets and pallets full.
Forks, knives, spoons, whatever it takes to make sure people have whatever they need to have a great meal.
And what about the china? Believe me, they're not eating on styrofoam up on Millionaires Row. It's quite a china collection. Entire rooms stacked with plates and bowls, literally wall to wall.
Everything from salad plates to coffee saucers, coffee mugs, entree plates.
And it's a lot more than you might think.
We have one room, 1,200 people. They do 11-course dinner. So we need, 10,000 plates just for that room alone. If you think you don't know where to put all your plates, come over here and try it.
And coming up a bit later on, I'll go inside the kitchen with Chef Dave to show you the secrets to preparing a Millionaires Row meal at home. Plus, some Kentucky Derby weather lore. Do you remember the wettest, hottest, and coldest derbies on record? The answer is next on this Have You Ever Wondered Derby Week special. Kevin Harned back with you here at Churchill Downs, where the question everybody's been asking has been, what's the weather going to be on Derby this year? Predicting the weather on Derby Day is almost as hard as picking the winner. Churchill Downs has experienced just about everything on the first Saturday in May. Sunshine, rain, even sleet in 1989, the year Sunday Silence won the Roses.
Sunday Silence on the outside.
Have you ever wondered the coldest it's been for Derby? The record dates way back to 1935 and 1957, when temperatures plunged to 47 degrees. And to make matters worse, in 1957, 25-mile-per-hour gust made for a wind chill of about 38 degrees. Brr. How about the hottest Derby? That was in 1959 when Tommy Lee won. Race time temperature was 94. Remember the rain in 2010, 12, and 13? It wasn't a problem, though, for Super Saver. I'll have another, and Orb.
Orb is coming with giant strides in the center of the track.
It seemed like it couldn't get any worse, but actually, the wettest of all time was in 1918, when 2.3 inches of rain fell. When the weather's nice in the Derby City and jockeys aren't on the race course, you might find them on another kind of course, like a golf course. Have you ever wondered what jockeys do on their days off? We tracked down Churchill's leading rider and found out when he's not in the irons, he's usually swinging them.
Swinging the irons. Oh, that was good.
Corey Lannery golfs whenever he can.
I don't get to play much, only about 2 or 3 times a week. That's a good one. It's a getaway for me whenever I'm, at the races and the grind of riding every day. And when I go play golf, it's just everything else is forgotten.
It's calming, but Corey is just as competitive on the golf course as he is on the race course.
We'll talk a little trash sometimes.
Yeah. He even has a putting green in his basement, where he offered me a few tips.
Keep your head still. It should go in.
He has almost as many golf trophies as he does for horse racing. Well, almost. Corey won Churchill's riding title 10 out of the last 11 meets. Only 2 others have ever done that, Don Brumfield and Pat Day. But those guys never swung a golf club like this. And when it comes to his wardrobe, Corey is just as colorful on the course as he is on the track. So they were about right when they said you never wear the same outfit twice.
No.
His closet holds hundreds of ensembles, shirts, pants, even a full selection of shoes.
There's the shoes.
And he's always shopping for something new.
My favorite thing to do is buy something new. It seems like when I buy something new, I'm going to win a race.
And for Corey, winning at golf is never sweeter than when he does it against another jockey. Like Robbie Alvarado, who's actually his cousin. Robbie tells us the secret to a good golf swing is the same as riding a horse.
You got to keep your head still in the middle of them, like a golf swing. Your body sways, you make a horse switch lead, The only thing is when you're riding horses, you can blame the horse if you don't win.
And just like in horse racing, when these guys are coming down the stretch, they're not afraid to talk a little trash.
If you're a type of golfer that comes in and needs quiet and can't play with noise, you don't want to play with us. Because you're going to get harassed and there's going to be some noise, probably some music playing. Hit the stick.
Corey loves winning on the golf course, but a win in the Derby would top it all. He's still looking for his first. Have you ever wondered what goes into making the solid gold Derby trophy? They do it the old-fashioned way, and you'll see how coming up. Plus, local farms add local flavor to Derby Day.
Onions to eggplant.
I'll go into the kitchen and find out how when we come back on our Derby Week special. Have you ever wondered? Kevin Harned back with you with more of our Derby Week special. Have you ever wondered? Out here at Churchill Downs, you can already feel the excitement building, and you can taste the tradition.
Beets and radishes to onions to eggplant, cucumbers, huge assortment of peppers, watermelons, honeydew.
And many of those items grown at Courtney Farms make their way right here into the kitchen at Churchill Downs. I'm with Chef Dave Danielson. Nice to see you again.
How are we doing? Happy Derby.
So you're going to share the secrets to one of the dishes you're making on Millionaire's Row.
Absolutely. The secret to this is really the great work that the farmers do. Courtney produces amazing things for us. This is one of my favorite salads. This is a tomato watermelon salad.
All right.
So we've got all these beautiful kind of heirloom tomatoes, some little reds, some yellows, we've got some little Cabernets. So we've got some watermelon we dice. It's really a nice play on this sweetness and the kind of acidity from the tomatoes. We've got a little bit of sliced red onions. We've got some beautiful local cucumbers. Another unusual product, some smoked sea salt from Bourbon Barrel Foods. Got some lemon oil.
Lemon oil, okay.
Put some nice basil in here. We got some fresh mint here. It's Derby Day. We've got abundance of mint running around this place. If you've never tried mint and tomato, it's really a great combination. So we just kind of mix this together. I like to let this sit maybe an hour or so, make it, put it up. The flavors really start coming together. Tomato watermelon salad. It's really easy to do when you know the secret.
You gotta love that. A Derby dish in which you can actually taste Kentucky pride. Chef, you know what that tastes like? Just like Derby.
Very good.
All year long, we say that we are Kentucky proud, Courtney Farm proud, and now we can say we're Derby proud.
Who will be the big winner on Derby Day this year? Who knows? But whoever it is will take home a priceless reward.
They're off.
Strength.
He set a torrid pace so far.
Skill.
They begin that wild scurry into that first turn.
And a heart of gold.
And the field turns for home.
It takes all three to get to the winner's circle of the Kentucky Derby, for the thoroughbred and for the trophy. Have you ever wondered how they make the Gold Cup? It's the preeminent trophy in all of sports, made entirely of solid gold. And just like a Derby champion, its journey to the winner's circle begins well before the tulips ever bloom in Kentucky.
A lot of people have no idea where the trophy comes from.
This is where the trophy begins, Attleboro, Massachusetts, at Leach Garner, a company that specializes in precious metals.
That's fascinating.
In a low-profile, yet high-security building, they're handling hundreds and hundreds of pounds of gold.
22 karat gold?
91.7% gold.
When we were there, we saw carts full of it. It was just like Fort Knox in the industrial world. Just the scraps filled garbage cans and eventually got melted down into liquid gold.
So literally, this is the beginning of the Kentucky Derby trophy.
That's correct.
It's cooled to form pellets and eventually gigantic gold bars and discs of gold.
Substantial weight to it.
Which is how the Derby trophy begins. Just up the road in Smithfield, Rhode Island, Bill Jeware of New England Copper Works turns the disc into the cup by spinning it. It takes months to get it done.
Several months.
And decades of practice to make it perfect.
We heat it up, you're going to rinse it back to shaping.
Correct.
He uses the same method to make the base and the cover. Once all the gold gets molded, it has to be polished. There's a lot of skill in that, too. Gil Rosa has mastered it. He's polished every Derby trophy since 1979.
So many years.
And just like the Gold Cup, the horse that goes on top is a work of art in itself.
That's a good horse there.
It, too, begins back at Leach Garner, where they cast the final form by filling a mold with melted 14-karat gold.
He just pointed in, timing, about 3 minutes.
Just like a real horse, it's a little rough around the edges when it first comes out.
Now we actually have the cast, and this part gets cut off.
Correct.
Kind of filed down a little bit.
Down.
That's where Suzanne Blackington Jeware comes in, back at New England Copper Works.
Starts with a little flame.
She's the silversmith of the trophy, dealing with all the details, from the braiding around the rim to the handles on either side. The scallops around the base and cover of the cup are formed by hand through a process called chasing. Another specialist handles that. It's the same thing with the engraving, which is done entirely by hand, with just a hammer and a chisel. Suzanne attaches the jockey onto the horse and makes the reins out of gold wire, flattening it to make it look like leather.
So you don't want to stay in one spot for too long.
All right. Much like the real thoroughbreds, Sue, those horses need good groomings, and I assume the horse on the trophy, too,
Absolutely.
gets a good grooming.
Absolutely. He's going to be on the spotlight that day, so he's got to look his finest. I love this. This is the fun part.
Crafting the trophy is like creating a champion. It takes a team with dedication and passion. And when everything comes together, the result is priceless.
It's the time to put that crowning touch on this year's Kentucky Derby trophy.
Yes, it is. Would you like to help?
I would love to. This is heavy.
Yeah.
Solid gold.
Solid athlete.
It gets affixed in a certain position on the top of the Kentucky Derby winning trophy. That is awesome.
Thank you.
A treasure. that shines on forever in Kentucky Derby history. If you've ever wondered anything about the Kentucky Derby, let me know and I'll do my best to find the answer. I'm Kevin Harned. Happy Derby Week.